Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's Item Most High, the Drink Bowler Ayatollah, here with my tag team partner, CT, aka Chitty Bang. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man. Welcome to the Reasonable Wrestling, the underground of the professional wrestling podcast game. We are here to talk about the week that was in professional wrestling. Now, if you haven't known, we do have a Twitter, RW Podcast 1. Check that out. If you do not know, we do have a YouTube, Reasonable Wrestling Podcast. Check that out. If you're on here with us, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if you do not know, we do got an Instagram, Reasonable Wrestling. Check that out.
Who are you, Chitty Lee? Put your hands together, Chitty Lee.
And if you do not know, we do got to check that out.
And rate us 1 through 10.
And rate us 1 through 10. Check us out. All the medias are social. This Reasonable Wrestling Podcast. Just search it up and find us. We're here to talk about the week that was in professional wrestling. And boy, we got some shit to talk about. Man, there's always something to talk about nowadays. To me, wrestling is like it's enigmatic right now. We're in a really good state. There's always some shit to talk about, man. This week we got AEW with their Continental Classic again. There's some more standings on that we want to go over. We got CM Punk's promo, bro. We got Deadline yesterday, which we can kick off with that conversation, and we can talk a little bit about the women's division in WWE, as well as some of the shit that's going on in SmackDown and Raw. So let's kick off, like I said, with Deadline, bro. You peeped it?
Yep, I watched it today. I did not watch it live.
He chose Collision over Deadline, guys. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Chris,
it was
a
shorter show.
In 2023.
It was a shorter show.
He's choosing AEW Collision over NXT, man. It's an interesting time. Hell has literally frozen over, as they say. That is a quote that has been running around town. Hell is frozen over. Listen, Chris is an AEW mark, low key. Underneath all that bravado, he loves that shit, dog.
You know, I would say to not even a defense. It's true, and I think my frustration from it earlier was, I did choose NXT over AEW when it first started. I'm not gonna, the roster.
I wish I could just play that clip. Was like, oh, we got Matt Riddle, we got Adam Cole, oh, we got Johnny Gargano. Nigga, half the niggas are not.
All half the niggas is on AEW.
Got swerved. They got swerved.
So with that point, when you say I'm an AEW mark, well, all my guys is there. You know what I'm saying? Like all my guys is there. You feel me?
Yeah.
No, man. And before we go into Deadline, I think I do want to just touch on why AEW is just at a point where it's hitting for me. I don't think that they have the grandiose big superstar situation. You know what I'm saying? But Swerve and Moxley, MJF and Adam Hangman Page, the real animosity of those things and the real life aspect of what happens, right? MJF, we talked about it. He seems to always find a real life element to give it a real life tinge of feel in his feuds. Yeah. And when we're talking about the rise of Adam Hangman Page, it was because of the fall of Adam Hangman Page due to the beginning of the rise of MJF, right? And MJF capitalized on some of those things. The diamond ring shit, he won goddamn fight. And then the nigga is the inaugural one, and then 5 straight times champion with that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So
another thing that I don't understand with AEW, like, what's the point of having your champion still hold that shit? They could put it on somebody else. I could get some rub off of that shit.
I think it's a part. I think realistically, until we find a character in AEW where it will benefit from, I think you do keep it on MJF because it is a part of his character in some way or fashion. This is why.
I should have been Ricky Starks a while ago. I mean, like 2 years ago.
The diamond ring?
Yeah, he should have got that.
I mean, but 2 years ago we wanted Ricky Starks to be a TNT champion, so we thought that. So to me, what I'm trying to say is the diamond ring would have been beneath where we wanted to see him. So that's why I think
2 years ago, if he got the diamond ring, that would have held him over until he got the TNT championship, which ended up being a pretty, short reign anyways. So like, it's the same thing where Ricky Starks. He's not being utilized to 100% to his, that's all my point is that he's not being utilized to the point that I think he can be. And that diamond ring at the time, because he had nothing, but the FTW championship was, to me, ain't shit. At the time, that would have been a great thing to say. Listen, I took that ring off of MJF and give him a little bit of, like a little bit one up on MJF, as they're both great talkers. So when they actually did have a world title match, you could even bring that up, like, hey, listen, I beat you for the ring.
To your point, and situational circumstance, and this is why you say AEW tends to always miss the boat of yada yada yada, not yada yada, but Ricky Starks was a heel, not a baby at the time. MJF was still full-fledged heel at the time. We're talking about the tournament heel versus heel at the time. I think conventional AEW stuff, they don't necessarily do too much of that, even though we did see some of that in this Continental Classic, which we'll get to a little bit later in the show. But one of the things is that when you said Chris chose AEW over NXT, I would say this to that point. Like I said, it is a shorter show. It's a more condensed show, but it was really action-packed. And with moving to Deadline, there was a lot of lolling spots, lolling moments. It wasn't, again, Deadline isn't a takeover, right? So I can't give it.
Let's have the AEW NXT conversation real quick. Deadline wasn't a takeover, but it is their pay live event. I enjoy that thoroughly. Honestly, yeah, where they're like the takeover buzz, they had a certain moment in time where there was just so much talent where they were having crazy 4-star, 5-star matches throughout the entire card. We're not there yet. They are, let's cheers to today's pod. To love, happiness, success, money, all that good shit, and the Jets winning the Super Bowl, which just pulled off victory today. May not winning it this year, but eventually. That's why I
Jet Life.
Jet Life, baby.
Jet Life. That's
Jet
the
Life,
that's
baby.
the name of the show today, baby. I'm representing for my fellow compadres.
Yes, man. And you're watching every Jet game from now on, rest of the year, so we can get those victories in, just so we can have a shot. Anyways, moving along. Deadline has a very young roster, man. I look at AEW and NXT in a way of like a coach with a very young roster, like the Jets used to be, well, even now, a very young roster that needs to be a little bit more disciplined, get some more time, and then you can see there's talent there, whereas the coaching decisions made in AEW over this past year with their talent, as not mind you, they got some veterans on each side. Mostly in AEW, they got some veterans to help coach over the young cats, but AEW, NXT don't have no like veterans on screen. Their veterans are literally the ones behind the scenes, and they're coaching these guys to go out there and put on a show, a live show. And half of these people that I saw yesterday on Deadline, this is like their first year, in wrestling. Like, well, to me, like, let's say, look at it, like all the women in the Deadline Iron Survivor Challenge, very, very young, very, very green. If it's not their first year, it's the first year on TV with NXT.
I'll take that.
Got Trick Williams finally making his, he's becoming a more prominent figure in NXT as a main eventer. You got a lot of young talent. Braun Breaker is looking like a monster, and we'll get into everything like in more detail. But my point I'm trying to make is that they have been put in position to grow on screen real time, and now we're starting to see, hey, throwing that quarterback out there, letting him fucking fail, and then eventually you see them start to get it over time, and they're starting to get it. I'm seeing they're starting to pick it up a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more disciplined. And for those guys to go out there and put on a show, and the only real veteran you have on the show is Baron Corbin in the main event, I think they did what they had to do. AEW, has the same potential, but I don't think they have the coach. You know, and it's not to shit on AEW right now. I think that Collision, like you said, was a good show. But you have people like me who see potential in guys like Eddie Kingston, and you don't see it. And I'm talking about capitalizing on certain moments and having that synchronicity, that congruency with the stories you're telling. You know, so I hope that we can see more of that in AEW because I'm seeing that in the Trick Williams program. I'm seeing that in the Cora Jade program. I'm seeing that in like Ilha Dragunov. The things that they're doing make sense at least. I mean, not like every single booking decision in NXT, but it makes sense. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't really make sense with AEW. I know that was long-winded.
No. 2 points. Cora Jade just came back. I don't know what her story is, so I can't put her in the category of a Trick Williams story. So I just wanted to fight back on that. Now, I do understand that Cora Jade story in real life, where CM Punk is her idol, kind of the reason why she got into wrestling. Now back in the company, was able to have that moment, that spot with her, that kind of quote unquote put her over, to use wrestling terms. What I would say about this, because the conversation I think we just do what we want to do.
Yeah.
The Eddie Kingston situation. What do you see that's not there? Right? He's a champion. We want him to see him as champion. He's a credible champion. He's a meaningful champion. He's Ring of Honor, right? Even though
like I said last week, putting a champion of a company that you own, ROH, and on top of that, champion of another company and Jeffrey Strong style in a tournament with your talent and having him lose over and over again. When he comes out of his own mouth and says, "Hey guys, no one asked me, no one told me, but I'm going to put my title on the line and I'm going to come out the victorious and the new Continental champion." Came out of his own mouth to say that. Having him lose back to back is a detriment to your not just Eddie Kingston.
He said nobody asked him about that.
No, I'm saying nobody told him to put his championships on the line. He volunteered because this is a whole Continental Classic going on. He said, "You know what? I'm going to add my titles on the line too," and which I didn't get. You know, all right, cool. You want to go put that on the line too? I don't think that's the wisest decision, but you got to show out on that tournament when you do that, right? So am I glad he got the victory yesterday over Claudio? Absolutely, because that's the nigga he beat for the championship in the first place. If he lost that, I would have been pissed, honestly. But he got the victory. Me and you had a conversation over WhatsApp and in a group chat, well, in our chat, that you said he hasn't got it, like he can't wrestle or some shit. And to me, I'm like, I watched, I was like, all right, let me take his advice and go watch the match. I watched the match, bro. He had the crowd in the palm of his hand. They were on the edge of their seat the entire match, and he did wrestle. You know, he's as. Let me ask you a quick question: is Mick Foley a good wrestler?
Technically, no, and that's what I was coming from.
Exactly, technically, no, but that doesn't devalue his presence. It doesn't devalue his match styles, what he's able to do in the character and the bond he has with a fan base. So you're saying that he doesn't got it, like it's something like a detriment that he shouldn't be maybe in the semifinals of this tournament to see who faces, for the championship. I think he should be at the end of the road because he came in as a champion. Like, he came in with 2 titles, bro. And to kill him off in this tournament, which I'm glad they're rehabilitating him a little bit, to kill him, it will be a detriment to both titles.
What I don't understand is how you what I don't understand is how you are just telling your own story without actually indulging yourself in Eddie. This is what I'm trying to say. When I say Eddie Kingston isn't a good wrestler, when it's him versus Claudio's a superior wrestler. Eddie Kingston came out on top because he's a gutsy, scrappy, from the streets, New York, fight from the bottom. That's his story. So when you talk about him being strong, built, nigga, he ain't fucking Brock Lesnar. It took him.
I'm not asking for that, bro. Don't say
champion.
that. That's not what I'm saying. You
Hold
know,
on.
you know that's not what I'm saying.
Yes, hold on. Okay, so if you're not saying that's what you're saying, if we're talking about the embodiment of who all of Eddie Kingston is, it took him all these years to be a champion. Now you want him to come into a tournament with wrestlers that are superior than him to just because he's champion be booked strong. I don't think that
I'm saying I'm
steer him to the fans.
But that's the thing about the incongruency, the incongruency with you having him boldly as champion say, you know what? I'm going to enter this tournament and put my towels online and then lose two straight matches.
I'm saying. You feel me? I'm trying to say you're missing the point. He didn't boldly say it. What I'm trying to tell you is that real life and the storyline is intersyncing. What I'm saying, when you're saying Eddie Kingston at the end of the road, yeah, brother, his body's beaten. He's worn down. He's not a traveling champion to be representing two fucking companies. So he what he's doing is in real world, he's putting over someone else. Because
so let me ask you something. You said I'm telling my own story. You say I'm telling my own story with Eddie Kingston. Are you telling your own story when you say that? Or did you get this from Eddie Kingston himself, or did you hear it in a report, a podcast? Where's this coming from?
Eddie Kingston is battling with injury. Eddie Kingston is beyond his fucking prime. Eddie Kingston can still wrestle, and like you say, Mick Foley, nobody's diminishing him. But what I'm trying to tell you is that when Mick Foley had his championship run and they looked at The Rock, they was like, all right, nigga, time to take these chair shots. Get on out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the end of the road for you, my nigga. I'm like, we did what you had to do. Mick Foley as Cactus Jack, Dude Love, the story of everything. He made his moment. Monday Night Raw, ran across the ring and everything like that. We're not diminishing who he is as a character. And even in defeat, we still was like, aw, Mick Foley. And Eddie Kingston right now, we're looking like, aw, Eddie Kingston. But Bryan Danielson should have won. Brody King should have won. And in a very competitive match, in an even competitive match with him and Claudio, who know each other. We talk about me and you and Madden all the time. Know each other so much. Counter on counter on counter on counter. Can I manipulate the counter? Can I manipulate the counter's counter? That nigga just gutted out a win. The only thing a nigga can do at that moment is gut out a win. I like that story of Eddie Kingston, but that nigga tired. That nigga tired. That nigga tired. So he put up them championships so he could be like, I did what I came to do. I'm a world champion. That is on my resume.
Let me ask you a fair question.
Go ahead.
Do you think that's the best way to get the titles off of him?
In this tournament, yes. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because the people that are in this tournament are super valuable to the particular companies. And I don't think either company has a guy that AEW doesn't have that can carry those two championships. And I just put it this way. In the tournament, Brody King, we talked about it last week. Brody King was in the inaugural championship final with Tom Lawler.
NJPW, right?
NJPW Strong Championship is a fairly new championship. We talk about the Ring of Honor Championship, the legacy that is within that, and the people who've held it that's within this tournament. I do believe that when you're talking about can it make somebody, I don't know if Swerve can have a particular program with Eddie Kingston, and we can make it work, but I think Swerve and Bryan Danielson losing another championship match and Swerve capitalizing on his momentum, I think that plays into the longevity of what we talk about gap holes and storytelling. Right now, Bryan Danielson has not won a championship in AEW. And he came back and said, it ain't for my glory. It's not for my glory. And he's held true to that. Hangman Page went over against him. Kenny Omega went over against him. MJF went over against him. And I think him making somebody in this tournament will necessarily matter. Now it determines who, but I think that's where they're going with that. I do think Eddie Kingston is going to fall short in points, and therefore he's going to have to reluctantly give over the titles. I don't think he'll be beat for it, but I think he'll lose in points and he'll go out as an honorable champion.
All right, I can see that happening. That means that Bryan Danielson should beat Claudio, and then when Eddie Kingston faces Bryan Danielson, it's pretty much just for respect at that point, you know. And if Eddie Kingston wins that, then yeah, he still, you know, he wins it, but gives his titles up.
He's still technically in it. Exactly. And that's building like the a la Trick Williams story from Deadline. So we can.
Oh no, he already lost to Bryan Danielson. Excuse me. He would have to. He has Daniel Garcia and Andrade, so he can win those two matches and still lose in points. So he can win out in this tournament and probably still lose in points if Bryan Danielson wins his next two matches, because he'll be too far ahead. He needs to beat Brody King though and Claudio. So those are big. That's a big challenge. Brody King, he could also kind of win out. He got Daniel Garcia, Andrade, and Bryan Danielson. So I could also see him leading this track and taking over and winning the entire thing by winning all of his matches and just dominating this tournament. In that case, Andrade, I don't see him winning against anybody on his bracket outside of possibly Eddie Kingston.
He
beat Bryan Danielson. Oh, he beat Bryan Danielson. Yeah, so maybe they are pushing him. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like this particular tournament and the way that they're booking it is particularly interesting for the simple fact that they're rehabilitating a lot of people in the same way, sectioning off those who are going to be tippy top. You feel me? Like I think, and I know you consider this mid card in some ways, but I think Moxley adds legitimacy to it. Bryan Danielson adds legitimacy to it as top guys. And then when we talk about taking over the top guys, we're talking about Swerve and Jay White and the rehabilitation of Andrade, right? Andrade right now, I think, is in a and sorry to keep just and the story they're telling with Daniel Garcia, to go back to where he came from. Him losing as a sports entertainer. Guess who's winning right now? Some motherfucking dog-ass wrestlers, okay? So I like the match that he had, that he lost in defeat against Bryan Danielson. And it's just really highlighting
I need Daniel Garcia to beat Chris Jericho's ass. Honestly, that's all. I just need Chris. I need Daniel Garcia to get a, you know. I think what they did with him was character assassination. I think that, you know, it's cool. He got a little dance and shit, but I don't think this is where he should be right now. There's a lot of people that they keep hot potatoing around, and I don't like it. You got to have a strong card, and I think that's why I appreciate what they've done with Swerve so much, you know. But at the same time, this is not the spot for Swerve. They're smart. Swerve is not just a great wrestler. He's both. He's a great sports entertainer too. He can do both. Moxley can do both. Bryan Danielson can do both. And then everybody else on this probably is more of a wrestler in my mind, you know, I would say. I think Swerve doesn't belong as, I mean, he could be here. He could, you know, have a great match with Moxley, and, you know, the finals could be Moxley and Brody King. I don't mind seeing that happen. And Brody King becomes a continental champion. Let him go from city to city. Cool. You know, but Swerve, I'm telling you, man, he needs to be in contention for the AEW championship. He has that aura right now. You got a few people that can handle that spot. What Samoa Joe, Hangman Page. Who else can compete with MJF outside of that, who he hasn't beaten already, you know? So it's Swerve, Hangman Page, Samoa Joe that you have as competitors up. Maybe if you get Wardlow to that point in the future, but it's going to take some time in my mind. You can't just have him beat MJF.
What you mean? It's going to take some time. Wardlow right now, and
I don't think you can have Wardlow just beat MJF right now. I don't. He's been off TV for how long? Hasn't had a couple of bad TNT title runs, and he ain't it right now. He's just not what Swerve is or Hangman. to winning the world championship, the top
I don't.
prize.
I think at the same time, like you're underestimating. This is what I'm trying to say. You're underestimating the ability to tell stories, right? Like, as you say, capitalize on a moment. I think when we're talking about it, they were just in this situation when MJF won the championship and Wardlow broke out as a superstar, and he was like, "They gotta capitalize it." I'm like, "Okay, so what do you do? Take the title off MJF now?" Like, what? MJF clearly can have the title taken off of him right now. He's been champion in years. As long as he has that claim to fame, they have a ton of people that, okay, Swerve, I believe, is a megastar that can be the company man. My thing is, does he hop the line of a Wardlow for hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
For storytelling wise, attaching himself to MJF? Because what I'm trying to say is that, as you say, who is Wardlow? What is he doing right now? Wardlow right now is back on a warpath. Now, a warpath you may not be paying attention to, and a warpath. Okay. A warpath that you may not be paying attention to, or you may not care about, or at the level of what you're saying. But if Wardlow comes and cuts one promo, which he did, and he has MJF on his wrist tape every time we see this nigga, he ain't forget. And that TNT championship and that interim championship and all that shit with Samoa Joe and all that shit, he don't give a fuck about what me and you think about. He gonna say, MJF, you're next, and I'm bought in because he's the fucking AEW Braun Breaker. Can't nobody fuck with that nigga physically. He's a beast. And when he own.
All right, listen. If you're gonna listen, man, I don't know what you're talking about when you say leapfrog. You talk about Swerve leapfrogging somebody, and you say Wardlow, nigga who hasn't been on TV. You just came back.
This is let me just close my point in my loop. The reason why I compared him to Braun Breaker just came back to TV. Braun Breaker was just in a feud with Von Wagner and Ron Stone. That ain't about shit, nigga. But when he threw that ball, when that nigga hit those ropes, nigga, he can leapfrog anybody. Carmelo, Rick Williams, he can leapfrog anybody, bro.
You think the difference between Braun Breaker and Wardlow is Braun Breaker has had really good matches as a champion in NXT.
I'll take that.
So yeah, he can go and take a backseat for a couple months with some scrubs and then come back because we have credibility already. You know, Wardlow got his ass beat by Samoa Joe twice, and then he finally got the title back, finally got his revenge, and then it just didn't pan out from. Then he got his ass beat by Will Hobbs, and then So at the end of the day, my point is, Swerve is the best option to take the title off of MJF. At long story short, honestly, Samoa Joe, I'm cool with what they're doing with him and MJF. I see the Devil's going to come into play with that, and we'll find out hopefully by the end of the year. But at the same time, with this,
I'm sorry, I want to ask something real quick. Hangman said something about Swerve, where he said he's going to make sure he never wins the championship. Do you think that's a real story that they can tell where he can interrupt Swerve at every opportunity to win a championship? The AEW.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And that can play into situations too. Number one contenders match, ladder match, casino match, whatever Swerve can do to get in that spot for MJF. We also got to remember that it can be alleviated by having Hangman.
Which I think is a great thread to protect Swerve in the case that they don't want to put the title on him. But at the end of the day, my point is that Swerve versus MJF has to happen, bro. Even this Continental Classic, I think, is a detour for Swerve that he doesn't necessarily need. But if you want to do Samoa Joe, then cool. Like, let him have his match with Samoa Joe and figure out how that plans out. After that, going into next year, you got Hangman and Swerve as the only two people, and whoever the devil is, maybe, you know, if it's not MJF himself, be the contenders for MJF. Jay White could win this as well. You know, Jay White, Brody King, those guys can be continental champion. You know, those guys can travel and do the thing and, you know, keep their credibility as a single star, and they need something. Those guys need something. Swerve don't need this championship.
You don't think that, I just want to add, do you don't think that helps Swerve with the worldwide mogul embassy thing where he can,
I mean, if he's saddled with the championship, then he's gonna have to make it work. It can, but I don't think it does more for him than being in a program with the world champion at this point. I think it does a lot less for him, and it becomes like a consolation to all the hard work he's done this year to get over and have those great matches, match of the year candidate.
I think he's talking about consolation prizes, and Seth is now touted as the best champion on WWE with a consolation prize.
Listen to me. Listen, when I'm saying that, I'm saying that based off of this being a brand new championship that then is going to, let's be real. This Continental Championship Classic or title, whatever it's going to be called, is not going to be the major focus of Collision, Rampage, or Dynamite. It's going to be a title just like all those other titles that can be defended whenever they want to fill a card up, you know? And to me, Swerve has the character to lead the show with a title. And I don't want to just be blended in with the TNT Championship and the International Championship on a fucking Collision or a Rampage. I don't. I think that he can lead the show. Even if he's not with the championship and he's in an angle with MJF and he loses, it's better than him winning this tournament, to me.
That's tough for me to kind of agree with, for the simple fact that we're only talking about the AEW portion of it, where I do think that Swerve, for me, that championship, Continental Championship, Ring of Honor Championship, New Japan Strong Openweight Championship, I do believe that can be a legacy builder a la the World Heavyweight Champion that's Seth. And as again, we talking about a consolation prize on top of a consolation prize, right? The Universal Championship was a consolation prize to the heavyweight championship.
You got to understand what I'm saying, though. I'm talking about the focus given to the championship once they've created the world championship. It's the world championship, Universal Championship. So Universal Championship is going to be on TV, beginning of the show, end of the show. This is going to blend in with all those other champions. They got mad shit.
I can't say that because as MJF been champion for a whole year, the best champion on AEW is the international champion of Orange Cassidy. So I can't
agree with that. I don't think that. I think that MJF is still the world champion, dog.
Yes,
I think he has the most stories, more angles.
And I know he's the world champion. We're talking about, you just said the focus of the company, right? The focus of the company for a year during MJF reign, me and you can be honest about it. Me and you can be honest. The whole year of MJF reign, we've been trying to find something to attach ourselves to with the reign. The reign ain't that
I think
high.
we're talking about two different things. Yeah, we're talking about two different things. I think that you're right.
The championship ain't that high.
We're talking about two different things. I'm talking about like the attention Tony Khan is putting on the championship, the time you're giving when you come on television. All that time with Adam Cole and shit, with MJF, that's the world champion. All that time with, building to the Daniel Bryan match where he has to beat through all, that's the world champion. All that's time given to the importance of the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. The International Championship has had some really good matches, and some storytelling has been sparsed in there at times. But every Rampage or every Dynamite, you're going to see the world champion or see a program or a package for the world championship. That attention given to a Swerve is more the attention to me then hey, you have a continental championship, which we don't know if is more valuable or less valuable than the international championship. So now you're competing with the international championship for TV time, and we'll see how it happens. Who gets more? I don't think Swerve should be put in that position. I think he should be in the world picture. I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is that in me combating you with this just top conversation, when Swerve is not Jericho, but when Swerve had the Ring of Honor Championship, guess what? The Ring of Honor Championship was seen every week on AEW Champion and it was given AEW programming, it was given AEW time, it was given and what I am saying is that it's not the championship that makes the man, it's the man that makes the championship. So with that being said, is that in all I'm just saying right now is that you're saying Swerve should be hot shotted, and I am hearing you. What I am asking you is that if you know Tony Khan and the way he tells stories, who gets hot shotted in their company, and what has that ever done with the story that they're telling? Because Hangman was made with long-term storytelling. MJF is now made with long-term storytelling. We always knew he was going to be AW champion. Hangman being the face and the cornerstone, and now John Moxley, right? John Moxley, for what it's worth, we call him the Undertaker of AEW, where when that nigga walk in the room, niggas sit up. You know what I'm saying? When he speak, niggas listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, those stories within the company in that championship and how long it took for those stories to be told, I think matters. Now, Swerve within this just year with the Keith Lee stumping of the bricks and he bringing those tattoo white niggas on.
That funky.
Bro, between then and now, it had to go from comedic, right? It went from comedic to, okay, he's serious. And when that happens, now you then tackle on, we talk about sports all the time. It's that second year, right? It's that second year. Can you keep the longevity of interest of your fans for more than just that hot sizzle? And that's what we're learning with LA Knight. LA Knight took the longevity of fans, right? From NXT, when they moved him up, we was excited. They gave him the Maximum model. They was like, we give you anything. They like, no, nigga, give us LA Knight. Yeah. And them niggas like, you sure that? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. And it's can you hold the longevity of fans for us to care?
I'm just telling you, bro. And this is my word is born. Listen, quiet as kept. If AEW does not hot shot Swerve at the beginning of this year, it's going to be a mistake. I don't care about all that long-term bull crap, second year. Listen, right now, after that match, after that angle with Hangman Page, a former world champion, it's time. I'm sorry. At this point, it's time. If you wait and give him this championship, he's going to blend in, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, Swerve down the line. And it's just not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. You'll get the title down maybe next spring or next fall, or you put him in a main event. Then it's like, all right, Swerve's in his main event.
How do we compare that to Trick?
Trick?
Yes, and the only thing I'm asking is that we went along for the journey and the ride. We're riding it still for somebody who's not really there either, right? Trick is still raw. Trick is still, he's still like, when you cut open that meat and that steak, that shit got a lot of blood coming out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That nigga fresh off the cow raw, you feel me? But that nigga, you put some salt and some pepper on it, you're like, damn, that shit.
Whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. I like it. Oh yeah, man. Yo, you want that salt and pepper on that bitch? It just pops. Just like Swerve. When I drive the dance, everything just popped it off. But what I saw with Swerve is the mic skills.
Okay.
The promos, the packages behind the scenes. And then the match quality on top of it with Hangman Page, it's now. If you don't go with it, you're missing out on a moment with him. And he's the top heel, man. Sorry, but I know you got Christian Cage. I mean, he's the only other option that you can say, all right, that he can go after MJF, but he's not even in the same like universe right now. Like, you know, he's doing his own. He's like everything he does is like separate. It's like outside of it's like the Edge and Christian realm, you know? Like, so it's Swerve, bro. I mean, Hangman, and I love this Hangman, even if it's a triple threat, Hangman, Swerve, and MJF, and a triple threat at fucking Resolution or Revolution, it'll be crazy.
Now you got me.
Come on. That's something you can sink our teeth into, bro. And that'll be a great match. So, I mean, and this is not to say that Swerve can't win this, and it may be a big moment for him. And I'm saying I'm not trying to downplay this tournament. I think it's a good idea after you've talked me into it of like what they're trying to do with it. I just think AEW has a lot of championship title belts, and the winner of this doesn't give me any like, oh man, it means something, because I don't think the international championship, I think it's still growing in prestige over the time. I think shout out to Orange Cassidy and John Moxley for what they've done for it this year. I think that the TNT championship has been an interesting angle and spot, but the title itself has been kind of lost in the storytelling of everything, like the actual belt that they're fighting over. So I
think it should be retired. That's my personal.
One opinion. Of them should, like, honestly.
I think the TNT championship, because the international championship ended up being what the TNT championship was, which is a television championship. I think.
Thank you.
But again, branding, your marketing, who pays the bills, you can't really retire that championship. But I think it should have been retired with Brody Lee. When you had the tribute show in -1, right?
I like that.
Yeah. I think and it's not to say that they had any ill will or anything like, but I just think the legacy of that championship, the storytelling of that championship, what that championship was actually supposed to be, when MJF goes off and do his thing and does the Roman-esque where I'm not going to defend all the time, and I might not be my storyline might not always be hitting because I'm dancing with Chris Jericho and shit like that. That TNT championship was nigga. That TNT championship was supposed to hold niggas over like the Intercontinental title. And to me, you gotta think about it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you Macho passed with that Intercontinental. We might not ever have another IC champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think to me,
I'll be honest with you. Like, they've had moments to get the title over. I don't think Wardlow helped it. I think Wardlow shouldn't have been, TNT champion. I think he should have went straight for MJF after that whole angle. I think he was hotter then, but the whole thing happened with the interim championship. He's like, I'm not going for the interim championship. So, and all that bullshit. So, I get, hey, things happen, life happens, and we move on. Now we can rehabilitate people and make it work. Right now, what Christian Cage is doing is great. I love it. But it's larger and bigger than the TNT championship to me. He could do all the same things without the championship, to me, in my mind. So mind you, Luchasaurus had it, and then he ended up getting the title somehow, which I forgot exactly how.
It was a triple threat.
Okay. And you pinned Luchasaurus? All right. And he became champion, so it's more about his heeldom, him being this evil person, so, and it's great, but the way that the title changed was on some, funky shit. So like, it's like a figurehead. He's like a figurehead for the championship.
I mean, again, the funky shit was Luchasaurus was TNT championship, and Christian Cage said, no, we're TNT championship. And Luchasaurus always looked at that nigga like, all right, and it was a triple threat match. The nigga took out Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage pinned the nigga for the title. And because that's his master, Luchasaurus gotta take it. But again, the story is gonna be made when Luchasaurus becomes a
yeah. So we know what we're talking about with the TNT championship. It's TNT championship, but it's a story that matters. And if that's how they're doing it, but it's just so much championship. Then we got the television championship, which Samoa Joe beat Keith Lee and said, "Fuck this title." Like, I don't need this shit. And then you got the ROH championship, which is in this tournament. Which
I think that goes back to what you saying though. When somebody has a championship and say, "I don't want it, I'm going for another championship," it doesn't necessarily diminish the championship in my eyes, for the simple fact, for this reason. Samoa Joe was the television champion and was like, "I'm the king of television," was never on television. Okay. That was a great beat for him.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to realize and recognize that more money's over here in AEW as a world championship, and more leniencies over here, and more whatever is over here, more prestige is over here, that's cool. I don't mind that. And him laying the championship title and saying, "Next challenger, have at it." Now the finals for that championship is the person who put that fucking championship on the map for us during a time where we was like, is Ring of Honor really worth watching? Shane Taylor promotion versus Keith Lee in the finals is big hoss feeling for me right
My
now.
thing is, why didn't they have Keith Lee? Okay, I guess because Samoa Joe's facing MJF.
And you can't have him lose.
Oh God! I don't even know why Samoa Joe is facing MJF though. I don't even know why he's facing. Let's be real. Why is MJ? He already choked him out.
Because Samoa, again, because now this is my point, and when I ask you, right, and this is why I talk about booking and creative and business and logic. What would be the pivot when it was supposed to be MJF Adam Cole? And Adam Cole breaks his foot. Now we scrambling. What do you suggest as the pivot? Who's the champ? Who's the partner? Who do you build the story? Like, what is, if it's not Samoa Joe? Who do you feeling right there?
For this next pay-per-view?
No, for this particular feud in general. Like, because Adam Cole's been down for 3. Like, this has been stalled out for like 2-3 months now. If it's not,
this is a perfect time to take Swerve out this fucking tournament and hotshot him. And I know, listen. No, you stop. Let me hear me out. After seeing the reaction that Swerve's been getting, after seeing, because Adam Cole had his foot broken months ago. He had the match with Hangman first on television. I mean, in Seattle. And then he had the match again at the pay-per-view, the Texas Death match. And he already had made a manifesto that he wants to be the first Black AEW champion. If you as a booker are like, all right, Adam Cole went down, he had this planned. MJF is a babyface. We got Swerve. Hangman Page, it's and you don't even got to give the title to Swerve because Hangman Page already said you ain't getting it. So like, it's just right to fuck itself.
You're missing what I'm asking you to just write your own story. I'm asking you, as Adam Cole went down, Samoa Joe has been stepped up in the last 2 pay-per-views. It ain't just this one. Swerve has also been in his own feud in the last 2 pay-per-views. So you can't just substitute him out. I'm asking you, who would you have replaced Samoa Joe with, and Swerve still was in his feud with Adam Hangman Page? Who's there for you to put him for? But
to be fair, what did Samoa Joe do last pay-per-view? Because MJF wasn't facing Samoa Joe, he's facing Jay White. So what are you talking about last 2 pay-per-views?
The Ring of Honor tag again. It's the whole story I'm talking about. The Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship.
Oh, to be his partner.
To be his partner.
And Samoa Joe can still be his partner.
I know, but Samoa Joe don't want to. It's not altruistic, my nigga. I don't want to be Ring of. Bitch, I just laid the TV championship down. I want to be tag champion. No, bitch. I'm helping you to get this. We cool. MJF was like, nigga, not really. And this nigga is like, they're gonna beat your ass. And MJF is like, I don't like getting my ass beat. Again, who do you put in that spot if it's not Samoa Joe? Is all I'm asking in that point. because then that's the reason why Samoa Joe is in this championship match. So as a filler, I'm asking you, who do you replace him with all the talent in AEW that is not Swerve, please? Swerve is not on the board. Jesus fucking Christ.
I just said Samoa Joe can still do that. Relax. I just said you can still put Samoa Joe in that match.
And but what I'm saying is when you say Samoa Joe, I'm just reacting to you when you say Samoa Joe shouldn't even been in the spot. Samoa Joe's been in pretty much like a 6-week kind of connection with MJF, which you feel like he should not be in, which is leading to a championship match, which you feel like he should not have, which should be Swerve's. What I'm asking is that, as you say, what I'm asking is,
it's okay.
Did they do it right by having Samoa Joe here? Is what you're saying they did. So why are we mad about it? It's the only person that could be doing it.
Because the reason why is like, if this is this a pay live event, World's End?
What'd you say?
Is this a pay-per-view? World's End?
World End, I think so. Yeah.
All right. World's End, pay-per-view, Samoa Joe, MJF, AEW World Heavyweight Championship. The reason why I'm saying is that is because he already got choked down by MJF and earlier this year, and hey, we can still do it. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad.
I know that, but I mean, Swerve and we from your logic, why does Swerve Russell Hangman and have the best match of the year in the Texas Death Match when he beat him already on a technicality, right? My nigga choked him out using tape, and Samoa Joe's like, I like how you fuck, nigga. Let's do it again. I bet you won't do it to me this time. Okay. This is what I did.
Listen, man, you can have it, bro. You got it, bro.
No, the only reason why I'm really asking that is because you're like, he already lost.
No. I know. And I mind you, when I said like why he's even here, is because I do think there should. This is me being revisionist because that's why I don't want to do it like this, because I don't want to go back and say like you guys been fucking up.
Like, I mean, why not? It's the reason why we have the show. You've been doing it a long time.
But we were like about an hour into the show already, and I don't want to like just go back. But like, you shouldn't be here at this point because there should be other competitors. There should be other people like Ricky Starks who could be just as well in this spot, because you guys had a previous really good match this year, that could have possibly been a bigger star by now.
Right. Ricky Starks losing early in the year could have built him again to have a second match in the
by now in a pay-per-view. Yeah, because that was on TV, so like I'm like, man, like it's a lot of things that I would like to see different, I don't want to say because you're not gonna like everything I say, but listen, man, there's people like even Sammy Guevara, who I know he's out. Congratulations to him having his daughter. That could have been built better this year. Not saying that he should be in this spot, but he could have been built better this year. Daniel Garcia could have been built better this year. And I know they got so many people on this roster, but like, come on, man. At this point, throw Orange Cassidy in there. Like, fuck it, international champion versus AEW championship. Like, it's just like. It's crazy right now. I just look at the booking sometimes and I'm like, okay, I'll just accept it, rather than, and it's the same feeling I got back in 2019 with Raw, 2020. I'm like, all right, guys, they're trying to figure it out. Let me just keep watching, and see how they figure it out. And, they doing all this stuff that I think was kind of crazy, but,
I agree, but this is my comparison back to why I chose AEW and NXT over NXT. As you say, everything with NXT, to your opinion, you don't agree with, but you can see the logic.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's my
okay.
That and it's not me bringing you along, but as you stated, me pounding the table like Skip Bayless enough has you thinking about the tournament a tad bit differently. And I think a tad bit differently just adds a little bit of not your sauce on how it's looked at. or the lens.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be cynical, bro. I really am, because to me, to add another championship in 2023, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You guys are joking, right? Like that's what I felt when I saw it initially announced, you know. But it's different, and it's gonna be done this way. I'm like, okay, guys. That's what you said about the international. That's what you said about the international championship. You said it's gonna be defended all over the place, and it barely gets defended anywhere else but AEW Rampage.
I thought that I thought that they were gonna have different international stars compete for it. You know, and they this.
I think this is a business move.
Huh? You think?
I think this is a NJPW strong business move, along with the ROH business move. They're going to be able to get their champion on television, but at the same time, I think that if you're a champion of three companies, in a sense, does that diminish, the strength of your company? And we're sharing our champion with Strong, and we're sharing our champion with
that enhances it.
ROH.
About their company.
So you might as well just join the brands. In my mind, I'm like, then ROH and NJPW Strong should be one show. In my mind, that's why I look at it, to some degree. Maybe I'm wrong.
But why? All I'm asking is, why would it be one? My when Ultimo Dragon is walking around with all these champions, was they just one show, or was this?
No, you're talking about one man with multiple championships. I'm talking about multiple shows to one champion. But that's the difference to me.
But they won't be multiple shows. I'm sorry. New Japan Strong still got their own shit because it's New Japan. They their own company. Now the conversation we're having that you're trying to get stuck in is that New Japan and AEW has a working relationship. This is a synchronicity between the two companies to be like, the mentioning of my name adds equity to the business relationship that we have. So therefore, when you say New Japan, every time this person is here, it makes a person fucking Google who the fuck is New Japan. And then
they're trying to get a TV deal. New Japan Strong is trying to get a TV deal. And you want their champion to be on TV. So I'm going to watch him too. Because AEW is a quick bridge to watch, New Japan Strong. I get that 100%. But you said New Japan has their own thing, but their champion, NJPW Strong World Heavyweight Champion, is Eddie Kingston right now. Also, the ROH World Champion, Eddie Kingston, right?
Yes, and Eddie Kingston has traveled to all three shows, is what I'm saying. He's traveled.
Yeah. So, but if we're unifying that with the Continental Championship, does that make that one championship the ROH champion and New Japan Strong?
I don't think they're unifying it.
I'm just asking.
That's what I don't think they're unifying it. I think it's a situation where it's an agreement, and that's what I'm saying with Ultimo Dragon. It's an agreement that when Ultimo Dragon comes in and defends his, for instance, Ultimo Dragon had a cruiserweight championship match. Was it Dean Malenko, I believe it was, and it was a unification championship match. Or I'm sorry, champion versus championship match.
Title for title.
Where he put all his titles up against the cruiserweight champion.
Why would you do that?
I think it was that particular. I think that's the particular mindset and frame of it. Is that, like you say, the prestige of this title now gets brought on. When I say Swerve has 3 championships, it's him having 3 championships going to 3 different promotions with 3 championships. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, on a wrestling aspect of things, I get like it's cool, but from the aspect of just looking at AEW itself, it's just too many fucking belts, man. Like I get it, the cross promotion shit, but Eddie Kingston being in this tournament and putting his title on the line. So that means that when let's say Swerve does win it, is Swerve going to defend New Japan Strong Championship at New Japan Strong and then defend the ROH Championship at ROH and then the Continental Championship in AEW? Is that what's going on?
Which which will be.
But then my point is that why the fuck is Eddie Kingston putting his title on? I get the he's injured and all that shit, but
I'm tired. I'm old.
Oh my god! It don't make no god. I'm done. Moving on.
Well, the reason. Okay, and I would say this for one. He had a title for title match, right? Which I think was the first indication that they were going to do a full-fledged merger of talent. Which it goes back to our point of why they have so many titles.
They should just do an ROH strong show, like ROH versus New Japan strong show. Have like a dual roster. I don't know, make something cool happen and make a TV show with both of them. Share the revenue between AEW and New Japan Strong, and then over time, hopefully their business relationship survives that. But I'm not sure how that would work. But I mean, it's possible. I think you're more likely to get a TV deal with those rosters combined, because I'm not sure the entire roster for New Japan Strong. I know some people there that are pretty good, but they are already all competing on AEW. To be real with you. And ROH wants their own show. And I know they want their own show for New Japan Strong, because New Japan's trying to make inroads in in America. So
Kenta's not on AEW, right? Filthy Tom Lawler's not on AEW, right? Fred Ross is not on. Those are New Japan Strong former champions. Those are also New Japan pro wrestlers who don't appear on AEW wrestling. So what I'm saying is that if Swerve is wrestling and having TV matches and wrestling Kenta on fucking Dynamite for the New Japan Strong Championship, that's gonna be a banger for one.
I absolutely, but I'm telling you right now, Swerve. I'm telling you right now, Swerve can do that. But he's better than that right now. Like, he's done that. It's pretty much being an indie wrestler in a sense, but now being in a higher prestige than that. Yes. Jon Moxley he's been to the highest of highs and lows of lows, and he can do that, and it's not going to take no skin off his back. Swerve is making his ascension right now as a main event player in the world of wrestling, period. Right now, he needs a world championship that's not like, hey, go out here and go travel and do that thing that you used to do and go from city to city and defend all these championships.
ROH Ring of Honor. So Ring of Honor has lost prestige completely in the world of wrestling.
I don't know. I can't speak to that.
That's a world championship, but that that is beneath. If it wasn't, and it's hard for if Swerve were to
let me clarify this. By the way that they present the ROH championship on AEW, they have diminished it to be another championship and not on the same par as the AEW world champion or even 1A, 1B. Like I said, like a week ago, they've done that to themselves, so that's my opinion.
So to that point, fast forwarding to tie up, because we didn't really get into Deadline a lot.
Yeah, we did. I'm curious to see.
Oh, go ahead.
No, speaking on Deadline, what's your take on the Iron Survivor match itself, like the concept?
I like the concept because it's their version of the Money in the Bank, and it's something completely different, or it's similar to King of the Hill or King of the Mountain, and Impact TNA. I do, for one, like the interweaving of brand new to the spectrum and breakout stars and established new front runner stars, right? And I put this in, got Tiffany Stratton, brand new front runner star. Braun Breaker, brand new front runner star. Those two are solidifying cornerstones of their particular divisions, but they aren't elder statesmen of the game. Then you have breakout stars, Trick Williams, and I think Lash fucking Legend. is a fucking star.
I mean, that slam on Otis this week got everybody's attention, man. And she looks great. So, you know, she has that presence.
Booker T is already a commentator. She just needs a good coach. She just needs a little bit of Harlem Heat to put her over the top. That nigga is petitioning, my nigga. Let me be a manager. That nigga's like the Kanye West and Twist. Let me be your manager.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to, you know, I get what you're saying. Like, you know, you have those like surefire stars who've been champion before. Braun Baker, Tiffany Stratton had great matches already established as, you know, people who are kind of like the leaders of NXT 2.0 version, kind of like whatever you want to call it, the new school, you know, new breed, you know, new generation, whatever you want to call it, of NXT. And they established, you know, a firm standing in the company to at any point have the legitimacy to go for a championship. The thing about this match, though, I didn't like was the penalty box, man. Like, I did not like that going into last year's event. And this year,
I like it, man.
And this year, I finally like, oh, I get it. You know, the way they structured the match this year made me really understand. All right, this could be interesting, you know, because the way they booked Trick Williams in particularly was he was getting his ass beat the entire match, bro. He was in that penalty box like 4 times.
This nigga was in school detention.
Yo, he had like a whole 5-6 minutes out of the match because he kept put into the penalty box. And then once he got out, he got speared through the barricade. I'm like, oh shit, he really is getting jobbed out this match. But through like within the last like minute or two, they put it all together, and he was able to come off with a couple quick victories and pins. And it was just him and Braun Breaker in the ring. Braun Breaker's 3-3. He's 3-3. So he runs at him with the spear. He hits him with the knee. Oh man, it's crazy. So the way that the arena popped, he got the pin. 1, 2, 3. Trick Williams, your lone survivor at the, you know. So I believe that.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man. You know, the whoop that Trick's chance going crazy. Like you said, he's a bit raw, but I think he is a great character, man, and he's endearing. I said this months ago that, yo, he reminds me of Booker T, and I said this, I was like, yo, it's not because he has dreads and he's tall and all that stuff. It's really, he's talented, but he also has like a comedic side to him that I think that he enjoys. And with that comedic side, he makes it very easy to be endearing to the fans and be that underdog, you know. And I see that
scissor kick.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
That's Booker right there, dog.
I see it, man. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you.
He hit the booking and everything.
When he did the scissor kick, when he did the high kick, I was looking for the fucking kick to the gut, hit the ropes, and do the cuz.
And a spin-a-rooney, man. Spin-a-rooney. Yo, he does a spin-a-rooney. Oh my God. They're gonna go crazy.
Yo, I would have went crazy, dog. Honestly.
And everything going on with him and Trick. I mean, not him and Trick, him and Carmelo. I love it. You know, he at the end of the night, Ilja Dragunov defeats Baron Corbin, and the match was all right. It was all right. It wasn't nothing crazy. But he walks out, and quiet as kept, you know, dude walks up behind him, and then it just goes out to air. Like, so it's putting in your mind as a viewer, like, oh, this thing with Carmelo ain't over. We'll see how things pan out. Like, he's in the background of this whole thing.
You know what I think though, storyline wise though, Trick came to Carmelo and was like, dog, you weren't there for me in my moment. You know what I'm saying? I've always been behind you, I've always been there for you. I never hated her. I like the fact that and Carmelo came out looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like he was still hurt from his match, nigga. You wrestled a whole like hour ago, bro. Fuck wrong with you?
And a good match. It was. I enjoyed it. Him and Alexis King did his
Woman
thing.
Jr. got some
Yeah.
ruthless.
Nah, I fuck with Alexis King. He did his thing, man. He did his thing. I like
man,
his.
drop the name, bro. I feel you. You trying to do your own thing. I love it, but like I don't love it. Like honestly, like I be who you are, man. Like Brian Pillman,
I think he should go with the Pillman too, and I understand him trying to blaze his own path, but Pillman to me, like,
bro, we see it. We can't unsee it, bro. Like my son, CJ, right? That nigga can grow up and like, you know what? My mom was gonna name me Ivan. I'm Ivan. Them niggas like, you CJ, bro. You look just like your daddy. Your ears point out like that nigga. You got the nose like that nigga. You laugh like that nigga. Your teeth smile like that nigga. You your daddy's son. That's just like Brian Pillman, my nigga. He looked just like his damn daddy. Just like his daddy.
Like looking at somebody like Bray and carving your own path, I respect it. Who else has done it that way? It's been very few that have done it that way. That have, because Randy Orton got his dad's last name. Cody Rhodes got his dad's last name. Charlotte Flair.
Protagonist for that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Shit. It took Dustin, the natural.
Oh,
it took that nigga to be an androgynous. You know,
but he did it. But he did it. He pivoted and he went. I think it could be there's positives and negatives to both. But you got to be able to really go left. Dominic Mysterio still has the last name Mysterio. Like, you really got to go in with Alexis King for us to understand who that is, to not see your daddy. So I don't know. At some point, maybe he'll be like, hey, listen, let's go back to Pillman. Because Curtis Axel didn't work. We don't want you to be like that. And then, so we don't want that to happen. And he got talent. I can see it. Him and Carmelo had a really good match. So shout out to him. And then let's talk about the woman, y'all. The women's Iron Survivor match. I loved it. I loved it, man.
Nope.
They were slapping, bro.
You
like it?
I like the match. I like the participants. I even like the story that was being told. I feel like Kalani could have got a victory, but I do feel like that she being a young upstart,
gotta earn it.
It fit exactly. It fits. She was working. It was just too many.
But
Blair Davenport. Let me just.
She almost did get one or two.
Blair Davenport getting that win last, and Last Legend getting out the box. Why she ain't go for the fucking pin?
On who though?
On fucking Fallon. Fallon
was supposed to go to the box. That's what makes the match interesting. Like, that's what makes the match. You can't just jump on the pin. And I didn't like the penalty box because of that reason last year. But now I'm like, oh, I can see how you can use that to tell a story.
Damn, honestly, that's a me call right there. Because Fallon didn't necessarily roll out the ring that whole time. So Lash was chasing her, and I'm like, yo, pin the trick, pin her. So
she's disqualified for a minute. Yeah. Exactly,
They performed.
I mean, look at Trick. Trick had everybody in the box by the end of the match, They did the thing, man. And I'm a fan of Blair Davenport. I'm not like, I wanted Last Legend to pull up the victory too and get that spot, get a chance to be in a match with Lara Valkyrie and tell that story. Metaphor is now getting some steam, and I think that they can get some more steam being in a title picture, not just the, Heritage Cup, being in a real title picture. So yeah, so I think that, them coming out, I love that, I'm always happy to see, homegirl Cara Jackson. Yeah, so she, great.
I'll tell a story out the pod.
Okay, for sure. Okay. All right. And then Yeah, the night was good, man, and I enjoyed it.
I'm crying at this.
Yeah, it must be a good story. Shit. All right.
Oh man. Okay, it's real tears in my eyes, people. I'm crying, and when niggas do the LMAO and I'm crying because this shit is crazy. It's funny. Anyway, yeah, it's always good to see the homie. You feel? Um. Okay, but while we here talking about the homie, it's good to see Wes,
Yeah, shout out to Wes, man.
Davion, like my nigga. I love you, dog. I love you, dog. It hurts. It hurts. We were just saying you need that fucking. We said you need that goddamn. What's the big nigga name? What's the nigga name? We don't even know his name now. What's the nigga name? The Artemis Reed.
Odyssey Jones. Yo, you fucked up for that, dog.
My nigga need the Odyssey Jones spot, man. But shout out to us watching that. Shout out to Cousin Rich for sending us this video. Real life. Okay, and this is why I said we here we being real spill right now. The cousin Rich sent us a video, and it was stating and summarizing. Can you maintain your level of responsibility of morality when other people are receiving blessings? You know what I'm saying? Meaning, can you not be jealous? Can you not curse God? Can you stay within the course? Can you not follow the enemy? Can you maintain what it is that you need to do in order for you to keep your eyes on the prize, which is the blessing that is there? And for Wes, I know it's some niggas receiving some blessings. Some blessings. Stay the course.
Yeah.
Keep your mind in the right frame. If you need to hit me, hit me. You need to hit Cheaty, hit Cheaty. This nigga always got some equanimity shit he can send to you, my nigga. Like, you gotta maintain the core because your blessings coming, bro.
Absolutely.
I promise you gonna get that blessing, bro.
I always say the words, what's for you cannot be missed, you know? And one thing I know about Wes Davion is that he's a good person. And one thing I know about him on television that he has a really, people recognize that, like people, the fan base fuck with him, so I think he's going to be all right. I know he's going to be all right, but it could be tough, to go through an injury like that and bounce back from that. But this is just a part of your testimony, brother. This is just part of your story, bro. Listen, man, it's I'm sure, I'm sure you can talk to Shawn Michaels. He's been there before. I'm sure you can talk to people who have injuries and who are on right before a big match, no less, So I feel bad for him. I really do. But I wish him a speedy recovery. Send him all the healing energy in the world. Listen, man, it's just part of your journey, bro. I know he's going to be all right. He's going to make it. He's going to make it.
Absolutely. All right. So,
but with that being said, Dom is no longer a champion. And we now, I'm sure that probably he would have won that, but
Heel Wes Lee or Angry Wes Lee versus Dragon Lee going Slizzer.
Oh wow. I don't even know if I see him as a heel though,
angry grounded mat wrestling power, use my upper body strength physique Wes Lee going punish niggas. I can't wait, man.
Once he comes back, I can't wait to see when he returns. But
I want him to come back with a jean vest with the leather sleeve,
arms popping and shit.
Nigga, I want him to come back with a sledgehammer, nigga.
Nah, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. To see, but yeah, if Dragon Lee's still champion by now, listen, I'm down to see that for sure, 100%. But shout out to Dragon Lee and Dom. They had a really good opening match on Deadline. But let's take this conversation to SmackDown.
Okay.
And I think the topic of conversation was Mr.
L.A. Knight.
No. It was not. It was CM Punk. Yeah. Listen, man, CM Punk's promo, man. This is what you want to see, right, Chris? Now you got something to talk about?
This is what I am entertained. I am now entertained. You know what I'm saying? Now, okay, so first and foremost, called out Roman Reigns, OG Paul Heyman guy, excellent. Chef kiss, right?
My wise man first, nigga.
Come on, listen. Said Kevin Owens, I said it on the pod. Them niggas are more similar than they like to be.
Yeah, I would like to see that feud. Out of everything he said, him and Kevin Owens is what I probably want to see the most.
Yeah,
like no lie. I want to hear that. I want to hear those promos.
CM Punk are legit the same type of nigga. They despise Jim Cornette. Fuck ROH, even WWE, and I got my bread for them near a decade, nigga. What? Like they the same nigga.
They have beef in ROH too,
Straight up.
Yeah, they have beef. He told him to wear a t-shirt. He not to wear a singlet. He got on Kevin Owens for wearing a t-shirt.
Mr. Wrestling
on the street.
Mr. Wrestling, take that shirt off in the pool, fat boy. You know what I'm saying? You at the pool, nigga. Let them see it. Bitches love fat niggas. You know what I'm saying? And I call the bitches who like to be called bitches. If you don't like to be called bitch, you're a woman. But the bitches like fat niggas. You feel me? And so do the women. So yeah, take that t-shirt off, nigga. And listen, KO in the singlet, some of the best KO I've ever seen. I'm sorry, it wasn't even KO. It was KS. It was some of the best Kevin Steen I ever seen, my nigga. And they got, damn, I rhyme with that. Hold on, let me stay in that right now. Singlet Kevin Steen was the best I ever seen. I put Generico through the ladder like fucking, like goddamn 17 times. That Ring of Honor Kevin Steen. Oh, I'm feeling it right now. Oh, this is about to be a good however long we about to be. All right, Kevin Steen. El Generico ladder match was crazy.
It was nuts, yeah.
Shout out to them wrestling. Again, a singling wearing ass nigga, man. Shout out to Kevin Steen, man.
But he made his money, in a t-shirt, so he stuck true to himself. So, I mean, when those promos happen with him and CM Punk, he can talk his shit. I would love to see that, dog. I would love to see him talking shit to CM Punk. And like that's what CM Punk I like when like him and Moxley get in the ring and he starts talking his shit. I like that shit because he has somebody. It's a match for himself,
And like, he keeps to say, "Shut your fucking mouth! While I slap your fucking head off."
Yeah, when he gets those niggas in the ring and they can spar with him on the mic, there's not many people that can spar with him. Your hands are too short to box with God type shit. Listen, I believe that CM Punk is one of the best in the mics, but Kevin Owens, bro, he can. I think he of all people could tear him to shreds on WWE. I'm not even confident in Roman or Seth doing the same thing that Kevin Owens could do.
No, I think Seth will get to him. I think honestly, to get to that point, I think Seth, he got some time to get his composure, right? To where I think the response is gonna be all right. But face to face, live, I don't know.
I can't wait, man.
I don't think Seth got the composure, man. Bro.
Here's the thing about it.
Can tear that nigga apart, bro.
I think Seth can tear him apart because listen, CM Punk didn't say nothing crazy. CM Punk said the same thing Roman said to Seth a year ago, it was that you're not the man in your own house type shit, So you need to be more creative, CM Punk. You gotta start to take some. You can't take somebody else's bars. You got to find your own bars. Figure out your way to get at this nigga. So
that's a lie because I'm gonna be honest. Can't even remember Roman saying it. CM Punk.
What? You don't remember that?
Hold on. What's the nigga verse that? He made it a
The
hotline.
hotline. I made it a hotline. He said literally the same verbatim words. Like Roman said it first, bro. But listen, everybody got
KRS already made the
whoa.
blueprint first. I don't give a damn. Jay-Z's blueprint was fire. Okay, I don't give a damn.
But yeah, man. Listen, I just think CM Punk is lightning rod, and he raises the bar. You know, if anything, you know. So, like you said, he puts a monkey wrench in other people's plans, and that is 100% true. Because I did not expect him to show up at Survivor Series. So my mind's thinking, oh, Gunther wins Royal Rumble, Seth Rollins, Gunther, Roman Reigns, and Cody. Like I'm looking at WrestleMania, my eyes, it's about to be lit. You add CM Punk to the fray, and like, oh shit, like what is it gonna look like now? Like this, just the unpredictability of wrestling, what makes it interesting. And they are stacked at the top. Being that they are stacked at the top, a statement I got to make today about the women's division WWE. And this was a conversation of last year during WrestleMania. Should a woman get a main event? And last year, as we saw, they did not get a main event on night 1 or night 2. They were a little bit peeved about that. But here's what I'm going to say is don't expect to get a main event this year either. Next year is not going to be a women's division match in the end of the last match of the card on night 1 or night 2. I don't see a possible storyline that you can do right now that's going to be bigger than CM Punk versus either Roman or Seth, or Cody Rhodes versus Roman, or anything you can do with Seth. You know, like I genuinely don't see anything that can compete with that.
I'm telling you right now, it's 2. Bianca Rhea with Bianca winning the Rumble.
That's one. That's the only thing I can see. That's the only match I can see.
Or Bianca winning the title off of Io before Mania, and Mercedes Moné coming back winning the Rumble in this part 2.
Okay. You know what? You got me. But
it's gonna take some strong black women to get the white men off the stage.
But here's the thing. You said it last week. Roman is not going last. Period. He's the attraction. Then you have CM Punk. So unless you're doing CM Punk versus Roman, then maybe you can get a women's match to be the end of the other card. But both of those guys are going on last. They're both of them going on last.
Well, I will say this though also. I know we can possibly say that there's no story that they can tell. With the news of Charlotte being injured, right?
Okay, well, soon Charlotte.
We had talked about how do we get Bianca to Charlotte at Mania, right? But Bianca Rhea has been held off way too long.
But you know what else has been held off? Becky and Rhea, and they've been on the same show all year. So clearly they see that as a potential, main event for us.
I mean, what's bigger to you, Becky and Rhea or Bianca and Rhea?
Me, Bianca and Rhea, but that's me. I think WWE, brass, like Triple H and them, and maybe some.
But if it's Becky and Rhea, they'll main event. Is what I'm trying to say.
I think Becky and Rhea will main event. You think?
And this is what I will. If the winner of Roman's title is not the Royal Rumble winner, it won't main event.
Wait, time out. You're saying if the Royal Rumble, if the Royal Rumble winner does not go after Roman, then Roman won't main event.
Roman won't main event.
Get the fuck out of here. No, it's not true. You said it last week. Roman's going on last. I agree with you.
But my sentiments changed for the fact that the women had a gripe last year and they don't make the same mistake twice.
They're gonna have a gripe this year too, nigga.
No,
they're gonna have a gripe, bro. Triple H said it. He already said it. He said, "Listen, the best storyline." And we had a tag team match in the main event last year. We already have the precedent set.
Correct. And listen, but when we talk about it, correct. The women don't just take 2019 in New York, main event. 2020 in Tampa, main event. The stories wasn't really hitting. It was the time. I would say time and story matter. CM Punk and Seth will main event one of those nights.
That's all you got, man. You only got 2 nights. It's over for the woman. I'm sorry.
I know, but what I'm saying is that Roman again.
Even just the anticipation of could possibly Roman's reign end. They're not putting that to open the show. They're not putting that to open the show. It could be anybody.
Not to open the show, but what I am going to say is that again, in the two spots that we're speaking about, of Rhea and Bianca, or Bianca and Sasha Banks, or
Mercedes versus Rhea, because Rhea, to be honest with you, Rhea is the biggest women's star right now based off of this year.
And if that's the case, Rhea was slighted last year with Charlotte. I don't think that they do that twice with her in particular. I don't think they do it twice with the moment being what it is with those 2 matches of Bianca possibly winning the Rumble or Mercedes Moné winning the Rumble.
I'm just saying.
I know.
The woman, be prepared. Be prepared to go on first.
What I'm telling you is that all I'm saying is if Mercedes Moné come back, she can get the same CM Punk deal. Main event in the fucking WrestleMania. Point blank period. And if you think Triple H is going to say take it or leave it and not going to have this bitch take it, we got another thing coming, is what I'm saying. If Mercedes Moné is looking at CM Punk and saying, wait a minute, he came back after talking all this shit, 10 years, fucking going to the other company, still talking shit, and then come back and negotiate a fucking main event against the fucking flag bearer Seth Rollins? You think Sasha Banks ain't got that fucking shark in her? Nigga, please, Roman, go on before me. I'm telling you now.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. No, they're not doing that.
Sasha's a bigger star than Roman Reigns. I said it right here on this podcast.
Nigga, he's drunk, guys. Don't listen to him. He is sauced up. He's bugging, bro. Like I can't even respond to that shit. But hey, if you think so,
bro.
But listen,
Roman Reigns ain't never made me watch wrestling at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could tell on a sober mind, sober tongue. Roman Reigns ain't never made me watch wrestling at 4 o'clock in the morning and text you about it. He ain't never made the tribal chief ain't never make me acknowledge him that type of way. I can tell you that.
I feel you on that, brother. I feel you, man.
And he ain't never wrestled Willow Nightingale.
I'm telling you, man. Listen, I know you what type of time you on when Willow comes on TV, dog. I get it. I ain't blaming you, bro. But that don't mean nothing.
It came on at 12 o'clock Pacific time. I don't know why that nigga.
Brother, man, which is another thing they missed on. Willow should have beat Jay Cargill, but that's another thing. Moving on. I believe, honestly, that the woman just gonna have to take this L. They can't. You might not have to go. You might have to go on first, maybe second to last. But yo, you gotta take it second year in a row. You gotta take this L, bro. I just with CM Punk coming back, it's like, bro, CM Punk. Unless it's CM Punk and Roman in the main event, then there is no women's match to go on last. I'm just gonna predict that right now.
So what I would say is that what I would ask you is that. Do you not think Cody will give up his main event spot to win the title? And this is what I will ask you. Cody got the main event spot and lost the title. So do you think he will sacrifice the main event to win the title? And this is what a question I would propose to you.
You mean like if he has a match WrestleMania that's not with the title on the line?
Okay, no. Two championship matches. Okay, I'm sorry. let me gather myself. You're Cody Rhodes. The opportunity presents itself last year to come back to fucking WWE and main event WrestleMania, but don't win the title. You take that opportunity just like Cody Rhodes did, correct? Now, this year comes around. Fuck that. I need the title. Okay, but you don't main event. Do you take that opportunity?
If I'm Cody, I'm cool with it, but I think it's a mistake on, you know, the booking part of the whole story being the last thing of the night, you know, sending everybody home happy. That's what you want to do, you know, WrestleMania. You don't want to have, oh man, Cody won the title. All right, now we got to sit around for, you know, Rhea Ripley and somebody else, Bianca. I mean, I think that honestly takes steam away from their match. Even like you wouldn't want to follow that. Even, you know, it's like if you're a wrestler, because then you're like, okay, Cody won. People are already leaving the arena at that point. Some people, you know. I think that's a moment for him. It's a moment for WWE. That's something you put on your packages down the line, you know, when you open the shows and all that shit, documentary type shit, you know. And it will be a mistake on their part to not have that end the show if he's winning it, especially if he's winning it. Now, if you're telling me, all right, you're going to sacrifice your title match altogether, it's like, all right, Cody, you'll be winning the championship, but it's not going to be WrestleMania. You're going to win it like SummerSlam, maybe. Then yeah, I can see him and like Randy Orton having an angle, or him and I don't know, Drew McIntyre, you know, anybody else, you know, having a match with him. But I don't think he would be happy about that. But I can see that happening, so he doesn't have to then face Seth and Roman again, and you know, we have a different match with Roman, you know, and we have Seth versus CM Punk, and the woman can also main event one of them. But I don't see CM Punk like doing that. Like unless it's Roman and CM Punk, yeah, man, I don't see there even being an opportunity where the woman can main event one of those nights. If they do that, then Seth will have to face Gunther.
I'm fighting hard, women. So if y'all watching this little drunk high nigga wearing the Cowboys jersey is fighting hard.
He is fighting hard, but you guys gotta be real with yourself. It's not possible.
What? Women being real with themselves? The fuck
I didn't say it.
Boy, if you don't get your ass on. Boy, if you
oh my god, yo, listen, if y'all want to freaking tweet and shit, go ahead, dog. Go get mad. It ain't happening. Not 2024. All right, man. WrestleMania 41.
Yo, I'm lit, nigga. We gotta play a game of Madden.
I've
been watching the Chargers just got stopped on 4th and inches. I ain't playing with them niggas today.
Oh, real quick before you get out of here, what's your thoughts on Drew McIntyre's little turn?
Yo, honestly, one of the best character changes that I feel like organically that needed to happen. He did a really good job.
Yeah.
He did a really good job. We talk about the pandemic, right? Him, Bobby, shout out to Miz, you know what I'm saying? Randy. They did what was necessary and what was asked of them to do in a big moment. Drew was so jazzed up. We was in Tampa. We didn't get the night one, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? But it was a damn near monsoon in that motherfucker. Yeah. Nigga, we had to make sure, check the internet was straight, nigga. It was out there. You know
that was crazy, yeah.
Drew, you know, performed at Tampa, you know, WrestleMania, and feel like he got to the mountaintop, but wasn't really a mountaintop. But he has to understand that it is a mountaintop. You know what I'm saying? Like you did something.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Sami Zayn said something a couple weeks ago. He's like, listen, your story's the same. You know, we both got screwed over. And then I think this past week he was like, we're nothing alike. You know, you've been there. You've been champion. I've never been champion, and I ain't bitching pretty much. And he's like, listen, nigga, you deserve it. Like, you were with the bloodline. You deserve to be screwed over. I love it.
Yeah, you whole ass nigga. Like, you was a little rap dog, bitch. Matter of fact, since you talking so much shit, I'm gonna see you in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And that nigga seen me look confused, but he was like, I ain't no bitch. And he went out there and got dog walked.
So he took him out. He said, "Listen, only one of us is leaving this ring tonight." No one's all, and he kept his promise and took his leg out. So Sammy will be taking some time off going forward. But I love what they're doing with Drew, man. Drew's on a run. Yo, Bobby's still getting hella crazy reactions on
Bro,
SmackDown.
I have no idea what the fuck going on. It's like the crowd couldn't cheer this nigga when he was trying to be face, and now the crowd can't boo this nigga when he trying to be healed. And this nigga Bobby just lived in a multiverse, just like
yo.
It's 2013, but I'm
whenever Bobby is healed, they love it. Like even when he was a Hurt Business and shit, he was getting cheered like crazy. Like so Bobby just got this aura that you can't not fuck with at this point.
Yeah, so, but when he wanted to get cheered against Sami Zayn, all we wanted to do was boo him and cheer for Sami. Nigga, we was cheering for the black.
What was this?
For the sisters. When he came out
that's years ago. I want to talk about that.
Know, what I'm saying is Bobby can't never figure out the character dynamic. When we want him to be face, he get booed. When he wanted to be a heel, this nigga's like, Bobby. You want me to
we want the real
again?
Him. That sister shit was fake.
Again?
You know what? Yeah. I think because he had an interview recently, I forget where, but he talked to his authenticity, and the reason what the people were booing was booing the inauthentic shit with him pointing it as ass, inauthentic shit of your sisters. You love your sisters and all this shit. Like, great, that's fine, but we want to see a badass, and now he's finally that badass again.
That would be you, right?
What do you mean?
I love my sisters. Yeah, I love my sisters. Name them. Nah, man, I don't love them that much. I'm about me. It's cheating time.
Listen, man, people do call me Bobby a lot. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
But
I was about to say some hoe ass shit, and I ain't even do it. I ain't that drunk. I caught myself. Come on, and I ain't that drunk. I ain't say nothing inappropriate. So
okay.
We might need to close this episode.
Nah, you're doing well, my friend. You're doing well now just to get through this shit without saying nothing foul. All right, man. Before we get to say something foul, let's get out of here, man. It's been a good pod. There's nothing else to talk about, really, man. Listen, I mean, Book and Black, I do want Street Profits as tag team champions. That's all I wanted to talk about. I think that, now we got, Judgment Day, the tournament happened. Creed brothers have won it. So now they're going to be facing at some point, Damian Priest and Finn. They should possibly get the rub and get the titles. And then a Creed brothers, Street Profits feud going from there to start next year will be dope. Or going into WrestleMania even. That'll be ill,
I was listening. I honestly, I can tell you everything you said, what you said.
Watch the song.
The Chargers is getting blitzed, meaning I ain't playing with them niggas for weeks, man.
Is
damn.
I think what do they say? Art mimics reality or what?
Nah, nigga. What it is updated rosters feed off what niggas did last Sunday. And what I'm saying is this Sunday, these niggas ass. It's 17-0 against Denver right now, nigga. Hold on. So I just to get out of here before we get out of here, and to comment on Cheaty before I even talk about this fucking diversion of Madden that I want to talk about because I just interrupted. I play with the Chargers. I found my little team, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. And it's all scheme, but realistically, in Madden, when you playing competitive, it's all in your fingers. You feel me? But reaction time and everything like that, as y'all know, in Madden goes off of what happens in real time. So over the past couple of weeks, Chargers ain't been doing what's been necessary. And as I've been playing with them in the game, they ain't been doing what has been necessary. You know what I'm saying? So right now it's 17-0 against Denver. What I just saw on the defensive side of the Chargers will make me feel like these niggas will be the Carolina Panthers of Madden, my nigga. That nigga Russell Wilson, to you, Cheaty, hike, came up 2, 3, step up 2, 3, 40 yards Cortland Sutton,
I
touchdown.
mean, now he's rhythm with these guys, man. That's exactly what he should do with Tyler Lockett. Nonstop those moon balls just down the line, and he finally found it.
Dumb Joyce is killer.
Yeah,
Crazy
that's old Russell Wilson.
West, the AFC West still torturizing.
Yeah, shit. Let's just close out with this pod. That was my book in black.
To finish out what you're saying about Street Profits. I don't know where we place them though, in the realm of tag team status. When we're speaking about, I don't know if Judgment Day is going to be off the title anytime soon to continue to build the equity of the group.
Well, so, I mean, we know what's gonna happen at this point. Like Judgment Day has ran its fucking course. Damian Priest is losing that briefcase. Listen, at this point, he is not cashing in successfully. You got
that is a hot take,
you got Finn and Damian Priest, WrestleMania. That's where I'm going with it. By that time, you got Mommy and Dom going into a match with Becky Lynch. And this is without Mercedes Moné coming in, just, and Dom is the foil to Becky Lynch, and all this time. And that's it. That's where Judgment Day goes from here on out. I think the group has ran its course. I think Finn Balor should be a single star. I mean, on his own. And I think he should be a babyface. I think Damian Priest should be pissed off that maybe he cost him the championship and they fight it out at WrestleMania.
Damn, I ain't even got my lighter to talk. What are you saying right now? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Listen, man, I'm sorry, bro. The roster's too stacked to put one of those titles on Damian Priest. And I like the guy.
All right. Let me Lil Wayne it one time. You hear the lighter flick, it's me. That's up. Damian is a tweener. Is Finn and JD McDonough that continues it, as JD McDonough and Finn have a real life connection. I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying, but it'd be an easy branch off. When it comes to Damian, he fumbled. You
listen, man. Let's just end the pod so you can watch freely.
No, bro. I can watch football on pod and still talk about wrestling. We do,
but I can't. So let's just end the shit so I can go watch.
You watch?
I don't got a TV here, dog. I gotta go in another room.
Oh man, my bad. I got the fucking on the stream, nigga.
All right.
My bad. What I was saying is that Damian Priest cashing in, I think, on CM Punk at Mania or Seth Rollins at Mania to give that. You said no. You don't.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my fantasy. I'm
See, we both. That's how I ended up watching the game, looking at fantasy, bro. I'm in third place finally after being in fourth place all season long.
Patrick Mahomes fucked me over, man. I'm sorry.
He fucked you over?
Yeah, and Brock Purdy's going crazy. So, Rich got that.
You playing Rich right now, ain't you?
Yeah. Dak, man, you gotta hook me up, brother. Dak gotta go crazy, man. Come on. All right, I'm a Dallas fan today.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
How we get in the podcast? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, Book and Black, Street Profits, Creed Brothers. After the Creed Brothers beat Judgment Day. I like that.
Yeah, WrestleMania.
Oh, you said WrestleMania?
Yeah, WrestleMania.
Damn, I'm thinking SummerSlam.
Damn. Okay.
Only reason I'm thinking SummerSlam is because I think the Bobby Street Profits gotta get healed. They gotta do something dastardly. They gotta do something nasty. I think it's gonna take time before they do something like that it make sense. Because right now,
I mean, they've been jumping niggas for weeks.
who gives a fuck about LWO? This is America. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we there now. It's time to end.
Listen, all is love. Everything is wrestling. Let's just say that. Listen, let's go.
Viva America! You know what I'm saying?
Let's just ignore everything he's saying right now. We love everybody. All is love. Everyone is wrestling. Let's get the fuck up out of here. We've been drinking. We've been smoking. Peace out.
Oh,
See y'all next week.